What's good, y'all? Rich Sosa back in the building with another banger, man. So, first things first, a big shout out to God. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank y'all for the support. And, man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Anybody who wants to join the Rich Gang family, be sure to turn on post notifications. Go ahead and hit that like button as well as leave a comment down below. So today, as y'all can see by the looks of the title and the screen, I am bringing y'all the top 3 best speed boosting, power forward, and big man build in the game. And I'm telling y'all, this is also going to include the center build. I got the point center coming at y'all right now. Next is going to be the skilled glass cleaner, and then to wrap it up, the playmaking 4 with contact dunks. Now, when it comes down to the making of these builds, just be sure that y'all follow along with exactly what I show y'all. Now, the reason why I say that is because anything, when it comes down to any minor changes, you do risk changing up the build name and what the build is actually going to be able to do. So first, I got lined up for y'all the point center. Let's go ahead and get into it. As you can see so far, the shooting, we're going to be able to get 12 badges in this area. But when it comes down to the playmaking, these numbers are highly going to be changed when it comes down to the height, weight, and wingspan. So as you can see, we also do get 28 playmaking badges, looking really solid on the defensive end. And then you can go ahead and put the rest into your driving layup as well as your driving dunk. And I really like the count that we do get when it comes down to the badges, especially on these center builds. You really got to be sure that you're making them perfect, so that way they're able to speed boost as well as be even to break ankles, y'all. Now for this build, what you want to go ahead and do when it comes down to the height, as you can see at 6'9", the stats are looking very solid. You get a huge boost to the physicals as well. When it comes down to the weight, 193 is going to be perfect for me. And right here, you're actually able to already unlock the park dunks, which is something that I really like about this build. Again, when it comes down to making big men who are able to speed boost, very different from the meta of what a big man should be doing on the team. But with these builds, you're going to be able to play defense and still do everything just as good, if not even better, when it comes down to the meta center builds. You're going to be able to finish on the inside, but the thing in here is that you're adding dribbling to the big man position, which honestly opens up the floor so much more. And again, if they do have a center that isn't able to keep up with you on the offensive end, I'm telling you, you're going to be a really huge problem when it comes down to the offensive end of the ball for the defensive side. And always remember, you can always make your own adjustments to these builds to make them how you want them to play like. Again, the number one thing as well is considering what these builds are going to be looking like with the plus 10 boost that you're going to be getting from whichever takeover you decide to pick. So for them to speed boost, most of them, you're going to want to go ahead and be able to pick that playmaking takeover, and that's what I'm going for on this build. And as y'all can see, we have made the point center build, y'all. I love the comparison of Karl Anthony Towns as well as Bam Adebayo. Let's go ahead and get into the second build that I got lined up for y'all. I'm telling you, they're only going to continue to get even better. Now for this next build that I got lined up for y'all, going to be called the skilled glass cleaner. I'm telling you, like I said earlier, again, go about it making them how you feel is going to be based off of your own play style. And again, also, if you feel like going with a different pie chart, physical profile, anything, go ahead and pick it based off of your preference. You're going to be the one making the build and using it, not me. The only thing I'm trying to do is lead y'all in the right direction, and pretty much you can take it from there. As long as you get the original setup down and you find the adjustments that you want to make, I promise you everything is going to work out in your favor. So as you can see, we're going to be going with the power forward position for this build. When it comes down to the pie chart, you want to go ahead and pick the one that's split right down the middle with the playmaking as well as the defense, y'all. Now, for the physical profile for these center and power forward builds, you definitely want to pick the very first profile because of the speed. Really going to be helpful in the end. So as y'all can see, when it comes down to the finishing on this build, looking really solid. You're going to end up with 7 finishing badges. That's something that I like about this build. Then when it comes down to the shooting, you're still going to be able to hit pretty consistently, especially if you run boosts on this build. Also run with teammates that do have floor general, buy boosts, and then get this build to 99 overall, which is going to give you another +4, and then you still have your takeover to consider for a boost as well. Now, when it comes down to the playmaking, 16 badges right here, very solid, but when it comes down to the defensive end, here is where things are really going to get better than any other area of this build. So, 21 defensive badges, I like the setup. The only thing that we did not touch is the steal. Again, if you want to go ahead and change the numbers, you definitely can do that. But I'm telling you right here, right now, this is going to be the way that you want to make it. The setup when it comes down to the badges, going to be perfect, and you're still going to be able to take this build into any game mode and find success with it. Now, when it comes down to changing the height, weight, and wingspan on these builds, these make a huge impact on what the build is actually going to be able to do. So as you can see, when it comes down to the body shape, I happen to go ahead and always pick builds or Burley when it comes down to bigger builds, especially more helpful on the defensive end in my opinion. But now we're going to be going with 6'7" for this build. So also, you have the potential to get pro dribble moves if you grind this build out to 99 and get that +4 to your ball handle, getting an 80 threshold for the dribble moves, and also you're going to be able to get contact dunks. I'm telling you, the way that this build is made is going to be perfect. We do get that playmaking takeover to speed boost as well. So I'm going to pick that one. And now, as y'all can see, we were able to make the skilled glass cleaner that does get pro dribble moves, contact dunks, and is able to speed boost. The perfect Draymond Green build in my opinion when it comes down to the closest comparison of that kind of build. Now, the final build that I do got lined up for y'all, the best out of them all when it comes down to what it's going to be able to do, going to be called the Playmaking 4. And I'm telling you, with this one, going to be very special, especially with the way that I'm bringing it to y'all. Again, if you make it to this far of the video, just know that I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and drop a comment down below. Go ahead and throw up the prayer emoji hands with the RGF right next to it, just to know who the loyals are. Just know that I continuously want to bring out the bangers for y'all. So anytime you hit that like button, that is definitely going to help me out, get these videos to more people. And that just means more members of the Rich Gang family, like I always have been telling y'all. We're hitting 10K this year, so let's go ahead and get right back into it. We're going to be making this build under the power forward position. Then when it comes down to the pie chart, I'm picking the playmaking as well as the finishing, split right down the middle. Now, for the physicals on this build, I'm actually going to change it up, going with the 4th physical profile, because we're going to get a much higher vertical than we would if we did pick the first one. And with the contact dunks on this build, that's going to make all the difference. So as you can see, when it comes down to the finishing side of the ball, we're able to get 14 finishing badges. I like that. And then when it comes down to the shooting, 12. That's very solid again. The versatility that comes with these big man builds are honestly really going to change the game, especially with your playstyle as a team when it comes down to being a whole. Now, 14 playmaking badges, looking like a guard build. When it comes down to the defensive end though, you're not lacking badges here as well. We're actually going to be able to get 9. And if you feel like changing any areas of this build, go ahead and do so now. But again, you always want to be able to maintain the build name first. That is just my opinion. But as y'all can see, 14 on the finishing end, 12 for the shooting, and you can even adjust it to where you get less shooting badges, more playmaking. Again, it all comes down to preference and your playstyle and what you see yourself doing with this build. I like it with 26 playmaking badges. I'm bringing y'all 2 different options in this video. So if you want the original one, go ahead and leave it before I started changing up the stats. But if you want the one with more playmaking badges, this is going to be the build for you. Now, the height on this build, 6'8". When it comes down to the weight, go to the lowest and then bring it back up to 187. That's going to be perfect for me. And then for the wingspan, what I like is going to be able to maintain the pro dribble moves if you want to go with it that route. But for me, I like the contact dunk. So again, you get the best of both worlds with whichever wingspan you decide to pick. I'm going to go ahead and leave it up to y'all. But again, the way that this build is looking, you're going to pretty much be able to get a +8 to your physicals. Then once you max this build out, getting a +4, then by boost as well. Really, it's going to change how you're going to be able to play defense, but also how you're going to be able to run on the offensive end of this build. Now, if you feel like going with another wingspan, like I said earlier, do it to maintain the pro dribble moves. Regardless, whichever takeover you pick, you're going to be able to speed boost still. And man, as y'all can see, we have made the Playmaking 4 with contact dunks. If you made it to the end, just know that I appreciate y'all. I love y'all and I thank y'all. And man, y'all already know what y'all need to do. Be sure to hit that sub button if you're new. Go ahead and turn on post notifications if you want to join the Rich Gang family. Drop a comment down below as well as hit that like button. Man, thank y'all for the support. Thank you, God, for this opportunity. And with all that being said, I got one last thing to say. Rich out.